The tugboat, for its size, is the most powerful craft afloat, and the Star Tugs are the power behind the docks and waterways that make up the big city port. This is Tugs. Big City Ports had been the home of both the Star Tugs and the Z-Stacks for many years. Throughout the 1920s, there was plenty of work for both fleets, as the port was bustling with business. The steam tugs had given many years of good service, some more than others, but if there were two words that defined the human race, they were progress and greed. I remember one morning when both fleets were working upriver. While there was still tension there and they were far from friends, relationships between the Star Tugs and Z-Stacks had been easing over time, particularly with Zebedee, who my fleet still held in a good light after the events when Johnny Cuba decided to pay a visit. Him and Zip were talking to OJ and Big Mac about an interesting development from Lucky's yard. "Scuttlebutt Pete says whatever they're building is nearly finished," Zip said. "Yeah, I wonder what it is. Captain Czar wouldn't have ordered a new tug to be built without telling us, would he?" Big Mac asked. "It'll be a diesel tug," OJ said. "I've seen it all before. On the last paddle steamer import, all the others were replaced by better models. Diesel engines were already starting to appear more and more frequently on the railways. It was only a matter of time before we saw a diesel tug." "But Captain Star wouldn't actually replace us, will he? After all we've done for him." "You Star Tugs will be alright," Zebedee replied. "It's the Z-Stacks who will have to worry. Captain Zero will do anything to make as much for a profit as possible." "What's going on here, then?" When I said relationships had eased somewhat, that didn't apply to Zoran. The leader of the Z-Stack still took the rivalry very seriously, and getting chummy with the Star Tugs was the last thing he wanted him or any other Z-Stack to do. "Haven't you two forgotten we're competing with the Stars, not becoming friends with them?" "Clear off, Zoran," Big Mac responded. "We were just having a talk. One day when you're grown up, realise it's what people do. You'll get off your high horse soon, 10 cents. When the diesel tugs are rolled out, Captain Zero will have an edge over you. We'll be stronger and faster tugs, and we'll outperform you every time." "That may be, but it's you who will be replaced." "Captain Zero won't replace me. Those diesel tugs may be efficient, but they'll still need me to lead." Blimey, Zoran's even more mad than I thought. If these diesel tugs do come out and prove successful, we'll all be for the scrap heap. It goes against his nature. He's too obsessed with beating us Stars that it's not registering that this could finish him. My Star Tugs were contracted with moving the steel to strengthen the railway bridge. The diesel engines had proved themselves to be stronger than steam, and capable of pulling larger loads, so the bridges had to be strengthened to accommodate this. The railway and steel companies had always preferred the Stars ever since Top Hat saved two engines from certain doom, so it was no problem winning this contract. "Hey fellas, how's it going?" Big Mac asked upon seeing Zoran and Zip pass. "You can laugh now, Big Mac, but just wait and see who's laughing this evening." "Alright, calm down, Zoran. I only said hello." "Pulling simple steel, are we? You could sink all of that and they'll still hire you for that job. You don't have to work at all." "The reason we always get this job is because Zebedee and Zach sunk the steel and destroyed the railway bridge, and Top Hat saved the day. They were just trying to make things more even, making up for Warrior's stupidity." "Okay, Zoran, you crossed the line." "What's the matter? Can't accept that Warrior's useless?" "You take that back. He's proved that wrong before." "Anything wrong, mid-ears?" Hercules asked, sliding up next to Zoran. "Oh no, nothing wrong. Only a game, you understand, Hercules." Even Zoran wouldn't dare go up against Hercules. "I know all about your game, Zoran. Beat it." Zoran began to puff away. "This isn't over. You'll see who's laughing later when we bring in the Bravella." Big Mac watched as the two Z-Stacks left the steel company before asking, "How did they get the Bravella contract?"
We've been outperforming them for years.
I heard that Captain Bravella owes Captain Zero a favour, Hercules replied, which I highly doubt, knowing his past, is anything good. The Z-Stacks had indeed been awarded the Bravella contract, which I'm sure was as much of a surprise to them as it was to us. Captain Zero was the only one who didn't seem surprised, and, as Hercules suspected, the favour the Bravella captain owed him wasn't anything good, although it would be a good few years before that information came out. My tugs had gathered to watch the Bravella being brought in, and the conversation, almost inevitably, turned to the subject of scrap.
Count the days, my friends,
Top Hat said.
It's simply a matter of time before we're replaced with diesels.
But Captain Star won't replace us, will he?
We can't take anything for granted, warrior. Compassion only goes so far in business. How long have we got, brothers? A year? 6 months?
You're talking nonsense, Top Hat.
No 10 cents, I am being a realist. I am speaking facts.
No, you're not. Believe me. I've been working this port for Captain Star since the day I was built. I know the way it works. Captain Star would never replace us.
But what if he's got no choice?
The difference between the Stars and the Z-Stacks when it came to docking big ships was that I had 7 tugs at my disposal. Captain Zero only had 5. This, combined with the fact that there was unusually high winds for the time of year, obviously made it more difficult for the Z-Stacks. Zoran was up at the front, with Zebedee and Zug on one side and Zip and Zack on the other.
Push harder, you fools,
Zoran yelled.
We can't hold it. The wind is too strong.
I said push harder.
My star tugs were watching the Z-Stacks attempting to dock the Bravella.
Shouldn't we go and help them?
Asked Sunshine.
It was their shady actions that got them into this mess,
Top Hat replied.
Let them sort it out. Yeah, well, it wasn't their fault. It's Captain Zero's.
Top Hat was the Star's version of Zorran. While he didn't go looking for fights like Zoran did, he was still the most antagonistic and least trusting towards the Z-Stacks.
They can't hold it. We've got to go help them,
Tencent exclaimed.
What? And get crushed along with them? No, thank you.
That's when it happened. With Zoran up front, Zebedee was the strongest of the 4 remaining, and, by a serious bit of bad planning, he was on the side the wind was coming from. Bravella started to lean dangerously to one side, threatening to crush Zip and Zack.
Back off, now! Stay where you are, dummy, it'll hold.
No, it won't. We're going to be crushed.
Need a hand, fellas,
came a voice. Big Mac had spotted the danger and was in the best position of the Stars to help, and raced forward to help get the Bravella under control.
Thanks, Big Mac,
Zebedee was the only one to say.
No worries, Zebedee.
The Zeros were able to dock the ship safely without any more issues, but Big Mac, Warrior and Tencent stayed close by in case they were needed. Zebedee was the only one to voice his thanks. Zack, Zip and Zug all stayed silent, as expected, but Zoran was anything but thankful.
Trying to win another contract, were you, Big Mac? We know what your game is.
For God's sake, Zoran, I was just trying to help. Save the Bravella from going over and save Zip and Zack.
They were managing fine on their own. You were just trying to sabotage us and claim the Bravella contract for yourself.
Like you did with the Duchess, eh, Zoran? Get down off your high horse. You staged an accident in Frame Sunshine on his first day. I was trying to prevent an accident.
Stars and Zeds don't mix,
Zoran said as he started to leave.
Before long, we'll have the diesel tugs, and you'll be in the dirt.
I had been privately hoping that the diesel tugs would be a failure. As much as it pained me to admit it, if they proved successful, they would be faster, stronger, and more economical than steam tugs. Soon, all controllers would be forced into 2 choices. The practical but heartless approach, which would involve replacing all steam with diesel, which Captain Zero was sure to do, or the impractical but compassionate approach of keeping all your steam tugs. If I went for the latter, the Z-Stacks would have the edge. Diesels would be cheaper and make more profit, and, given the year was 1929, money was something that would soon be incredibly important.